FFT Express, we're breaking down 8 games for you for week 3. Adam and Heath here. Let's get to it. We got Kansas City, Atlanta, and then we have the 7 AFC home games other than the Thursday night game. Kansas City at Atlanta. Give me the starts and sits.
You are starting Patrick Mahomes. You are starting Bijan Robinson. You are starting Rashee Rice. You are starting both of the tight ends. I will also start Drake London in a 3 wide receiver league. If you have to, you can start Xavier Worthy or Darnell Mooney or Carson Steele as a boom bust flex.
All right, we're going to wait and see with the Chiefs running backs this week. Chicago is at Atlanta, but nope. Chicago is at Indianapolis. Yes, which is a better matchup. I'm glad they're not at Atlanta. Yeah, so what do you think here?
I'm starting Anthony Richardson. I'm starting Jonathan Taylor. I'm starting DJ Moore as long as Keenan Allen's out. If Keenan Allen's back, then both DJ Moore and Michael Pittman are number 3 wide receivers. I don't have any interest in a tight end. I would view Keenan Allen as kind of a flex if he plays. Rome Odunze and Josh Downs should both be stashed in pretty much all leagues.
Yeah, I am seeing Odunze start to get dropped in some leagues. How do you feel about Drake London versus DJ Moore?
I would start DJ Moore over Drake London, and I didn't say it, but I'm not starting DeAndre Swift unless it's as a flex. I just don't trust him.
Okay, yeah, it's a shame. It's a really good matchup. Chargers are at Pittsburgh. Starts and sits.
I am not starting very many players in this game. I will start J.K. Dobbins as a number 2 running back and George Pickens as a number 3 wide receiver. I want to roster both Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston. If I had to start one, I would start Ladd. Najee Harris over Jaylen Warren as a flex. And Justin Fields over Justin Herbert as a QB2. Pat Freiermuth's a desperation tight end 2.
So what is it that's holding you back with George Pickens? Can't even be a number 2 receiver for you.
He has not been a number 2 receiver so far this year.
Well, he wasn't.
A combination of Justin Fields and Arthur Smith.
He wasn't week 1. Then he had Patrick Surtain in week 2. And what's the difference between George Pickens this year and DJ Moore last year?
Arthur Smith wasn't there in Chicago last year.
Arthur Smith haunts us.
That's the end. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I like George Pickens a lot, and I think there's a lot of upside. DJ Moore has shown us a lot more proof that he is a very good NFL wide receiver than George Pickens has.
Okay. Fair enough. Giants are at Cleveland. Starts and sits.
Yeah. So this is another game. Like, what's up with all these games that we're just not super excited about starting that many players?
That's late. Yeah.
Jerome Ford is a low-end RB2 for at least one more week. If Deontay Foreman leads the team again, we might be in trouble. Singletary is a high-end flex. Amari Cooper and Malik Neighbors are both low-end wide receiver 2s that I'm fine starting. I'm not starting the tight ends.
Okay. Let's go to Carolina. You know what it is? It's just like the offense is so bad right now in the NFL that there aren't that many players to get excited about. You just have to lower your expectations, I guess. You really do. Carolina's at Las Vegas. Go ahead.
Oh, that's much better. Now we've got some offensive juggernauts that we can feel really good about. No, I'm starting Devontae Adams. I'm starting Brock Bowers. Zamir White is a low-end RB2. Deontay Johnson's a low-end wide receiver 3. Chuba Hubbard's a fine flex. I don't mind Gardner Minshew as a stream this week if you missed out on Derek Carr.
Zamir White or Jerome Ford?
I'm going in full PPR. I'll go with Jerome Ford. Everything else, I'll go with Zamir.
All right, we're going to take a break. We have 3 more games to talk about and hopefully time for some of your questions. We'll be right back on FFT Express. Jacksonville at Buffalo. I mean, this should be a game where we're excited about a lot of guys. But
yeah, this Jacksonville offense has been spectacular. No, it is. You're starting both of the running backs. You're starting Josh Allen. James Cook and Travis Etienne are both top 12. I'm still starting Dalton Kincaid. It's a top 10 tight end. It's the wide receivers that have really been disappointing on these teams, except for Brian Thomas. He is a boom bust number 3. Christian Kirk and Shakir are both number 3s as well, but behind Brian Thomas. If Evan Ingram comes back, you start him. Brenton Strange is a desperation stream.
Washington is at Cincinnati. Here we go, baby.
Here's the offense. Joe Burrow is a top 3 quarterback. Jaden Daniels is top 8. Brian Robinson's a low-end RB2. Zach Moss over Austin Eckler as a flex if you need him. Start Jamar Chase and T. Higgins if he comes back. View Terry McLaurin as more of a number 3. Gesicki is pretty close to a must-start tight end. If there's no T. Higgins, he's a fine stream if T. Higgins comes back.
Why only a low-end number 2 for Brian Robinson?
Because he's still sharing with both Austin Eckler and Jaden Daniels. And I think the Commanders have been one of those teams that, unlike the rest of the league, have maybe run more plays than we were expecting. I'm not entirely certain that the huge performance last week didn't have more to do with the Giants.
Yeah. Green Bay's at Tennessee last game. And this is a big one here because Jordan Love kind of hangs over this one.
So, yeah, you start Aaron Rodgers over Jordan Love if that's your only choice. If Love is back, then I would view him as a low-end QB1. You're starting Josh Jacobs no matter who starts at quarterback. If Love is back, then Jaden Reed's a good number 3 and Watson's a boom-bust flex. If Willis starts, don't start any Packers besides Josh Jacobs. I am starting Tony Pollard. Calvin Ridley is a low-end wide receiver 2 for me.
All right, let's see. We have about a minute and a half for questions here. Mark Andrews or Hunter Henry?
I'm still going with Mark Andrews for at least one more week.
Xavier Worthy or Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard for sure.
Marvin Harrison Jr. or Brian Robinson?
That's a good question. I'd go with Brian Robinson and non-PPR. I'd go with Marvin Harrison, everything else.
Last week, George Pickens caught a 50-yard ball that called back for holding and a touchdown called back on a bogus call. So shrug emoji.
There you go. If he wasn't so close to the defender, they wouldn't be able to hold him. No, the holding was not on him. It was on the offense. I'm just joking.
But it is true. He's had some bad luck. He had a 30-plus yard catch called back in week 1 on a very questionable pass interference call. Brian Thomas Jr. or Jerome Ford?
Ford.
Shaheed or DJ Moore?
I will go with Moore. If Keenan Allen's out, Shaheed if Keenan Allen's back.
Okay. He also has Olave, though. I don't know if that changes anything for you.
I would start Olave over both.
No. He's going to start Olave. So then it's between Shaheed or Moore.
That wouldn't change anything for me.
Okay. Someone dropped Terry McLaurin. How much fab?
25%.
Jaden Daniels or Anthony Richardson?
I've got him back-to-back, but I'll go Richardson.
Hickory or Mesquite?
Depends on what meat you're cooking.
Dak or Carr?
I will go with Dak.
Waddle, Amari Cooper, DeMarcus Robinson, pick 2.
I'm sitting Waddle. It's insane.
Geno or Cousins?
Geno.
Ridley, DeMarcus Robinson, or Mooney, pick 1.
Ridley.
All right. That's it for FFT Express. Thanks to Heath. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you 7:30 p.m. Thursday night, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. See ya.